Quick thank you again to DataBank, Enterprise Technology Partners, and we're structured. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What I wanted to do too is now hand it over really quick to DataBank. We try not to have too many commercials, but because they sponsor the food and the parking and the venue, we want to give them a minute to just share what DataBank is all about. For those of you, actually maybe by show of hands, I'm curious, who has been in a data center before? All right, so about a third of you or whatever, but this is where all this stuff happens. Everything we put our hands on the keyboard, this is where it all lives. So I'll turn it over to you guys for that.
Thanks, everybody. I'll talk a little bit louder. Is that better? So my name is Tom Panarisi, Mark McCants. We work here at this data center. We've been here since 2008, both of us. We left, came back, we've gone through a couple acquisitions. So this is what we call Irvine number 1. We have Irvine number 2 right down the street. We have 70 data centers across our platform today. So we provide co-location services. So everything you hear in here, including those H100s, are all customer equipment that they bring in. We give them power. We give them the real estate. We give them the environmentals from a cooling perspective, redundancy for UPS, the generators that you might have saw in the parking lot. That's what we supply our customers to make sure that they don't have any downtime in the event of a failure. The internet connectivity we have in here is for redundancy as well, so we have multiple carriers, etc., etc. 100% uptime guarantee for our customers. So that's what we sell, and essentially we have 70 of these. This is a small data center. We now, based on all the AI deployments and generative learning deployments, are completely revamped our methodology on building. We're building campuses now, 100 megawatt campuses. To put it into perspective, this is a 4 megawatt data center. We are now building 100 plus megawatt data centers and campuses, more importantly. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but this is, you're welcome to make sure that you can walk around afterwards. But this is all individual customers, primarily based in Orange County, that outsource all their infrastructure into a data center like ours.
Yeah, if you have any, if you're looking for GPU as a service to host your apps, we have lots of customers that are coming into the data center, deploying the NVIDIA stack, and renting out basically a cloud-based GPU product. So if you need referrals to those type of companies, we're certainly there to help you with that as well.
Hi everybody, I just wanted to welcome all of you and let you know I heard an interesting saying yesterday, and we're the last generation to know what life is like before AI. And we just want to welcome all you guys, and just want you to know that we're here for you. Need anything, or that's why it didn't sound right. Okay. So Shelby and I are here for you as we go forward with all the meetings. Anything you need, we'll be coordinating it, and then Craig's company will be backing us up, and we're just really excited to get this thing going. And welcome to the first meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Shelby. Listen, so this is the agenda for the speakers that we have, and I think we'll follow this order. So we'll have folks come up, plug in, and do the demo. The only tricky part I'm thinking is that some folks might need hands-on keyboards, so I might need to do hold the mic maybe when you're typing. We'll figure that out. So anyway, I think Michael, you're first up. So Michael, do you want to come up and hook up?
Hello, everybody. All right, well, we'll try to give this a go here. I'm Michael Evingahm from Natural Current, and for the last few years, I've been building applications in the AI sphere, and I always had a vision on the agents. Back in the '90s, when I was programming and streaming videos for radio stations and TV stations, and just got rid of the big broadcasting back in the '90s. And then going up to 1999, I was really going, oh man, I really want to kind of build this NetShow business and do this kind of streaming, AI-based kind of agentry where you can kind of really make your own movies and make your own kind of content. And definitely had to wait a while till it really came into be. So back in 2018, I should say, really saw it maybe starting to come, and just dove in since then. And obviously in 22, we all kind of went, oh, okay, might be something going on here. So since then, really just been kind of programming and kind of dealing with what the models are capable of, and still had my focus of generating agents and giving people access to this AI tech, this agentic abilities. I'm going to take my jacket off. So in doing so, I knew I needed to figure something out that's going to be really user-friendly, so people like my mom, my kids, my grandparents, they could really utilize AI and build agents and do tasks. So I really kind of started from scratch about 2 years ago, just knowing that everything really needed to be in an easy web form basis. So instead of coding like in PHP or Python, that wasn't really going to do because nobody that I knew that. And then when it got to no code, it got to a point where nobody I knew can also use Zapier or Make or any of these other tools that are out there to really build an agent or do an agentic task or generate a book or generate a movie. You really had to know some code to do that. So everybody was kind of closed out. So my focus was just to try to make this all in an easy web form basis of creating an agent and do an agentic task and doing stuff. So I think we have 5 minutes here, so I'll go ahead and speed it up. But I have a menu here, and you have your organization's personal, business, entertainment, marketing. And when you click on it, you can really handle a lot of your phones. Now, all of these emails, phones, these are all phone agents, email agents that connect to your email. So it's really very high advanced abilities for the models. And why I go here, you have agentic tasks that you can do, social content if you want to go ahead and post, which I'm going to do right now. So you can see this is a basic form, and you can do PDFs, YouTube videos with just a simple text. So I just grabbed some text from my website, plopped it in here, and then there's about 200 options. I get a couple different styles of the writing I wanted to do. I put a little business message, my call to action, and then I went ahead and I said I wanted media. I could do AI generated media and videos. So I just attached 2 pictures, and then I went ahead and I'm just going to do Facebook and Instagram, and then we'll go ahead and do a LinkedIn post. So if my mom wanted to do this, my kids wanted to do this, anybody can. So now you can choose the time you want to start and how many frequency. Do you want it every hour? Do you really want to build up your calendar? What do you want to do? So in doing so, you go ahead and hit submit. And when you do that, it's going to go ahead and generate all those posts and put it in a calendar for you. Is what that'll do. So it's $1 a post. So I have this is like a testing deal. I just got to submit this. Should be processing. Should be good. Okay, so now it's going to go ahead and generate all these social media posts. It could have been my video, could have been my kids, could have been something I'm selling. And you can definitely see the track of what's going on. It's 3%. So anyways, that was like an easy web form. And when it goes into, if you want to create an agentic agent, you just go to an agent and you can just fill out the form once again. It's just really basic, where these are extremely high advanced agents that could do tasks, and you just kind of build it as anybody can do on drop downs in web forms. And if you want to do, give it questions, you want to capture your own image and do that, or just set up your image. So it's really basic to do extremely advanced features. And so that's the kind of the mindset I'm trying to get out there, where people can understand if they want a phone agent and they want it to handle all my inbound calls on my phone. Well, my daughter can go do that and say, I'm going to make this Christina agent. She's going to go in, she's going to answer all my phone calls and do something with it. And she can fill out these forms. It's not hard to do. You can do your behaviors. I mean, they can get into it. You can use AI to help you write it. But the bottom line is all these actions, call forwarding, SMS, it's just all basic. So So I think it's really going to open the door for zero code programming agentic agents and agentic tasks, and really utilizing this tech into a consumer base, a business base, an enterprise base. It's kind of where I believe it really needs to be. So let's see. I think this is probably done. I'll probably refresh. I don't know why it's not giving this real time. So that's done. So if I go to my calendar and I hit refresh, over here, I think it was on the 21st I did. So there they are. So now you have your post all ready to go. It's all cleaned up. Your image. So that is for Instagram, Facebook, and then you have this, so you can just see it just kind of sets it all up, and now it'll go out automatically. Now, if you're trying to really get into that big time, you can do that and really build your followers and stuff like that. But I'll just kind of show what agentic task can do, or in real social media presence, where it's really going to help you promote yourself, promote your product, or do whatever you want to do. So that kind of is a little of a taste what it can do. And then here's your agentic task. There's an agentic task you want to send out, create a web page, and so this is just like a creator is going to help you build the steps and the APIs that you want to connect into. So when you hit submit, this thing will go ahead and build all the steps that it'll have to take to generate it. So anybody can do that once again. Make a website, connect to your API for weather agent. So that's kind of the model that we have, and you can just continue on and give it a name and submit it. Before you know, you'll have a website with weather and all that kind of stuff. So I guess the moral of the story that I'm trying to show that what you want to do with your abilities for your personal needs, business needs, and get into really utilizing AI tech. We're trying to make it really, really user-friendly and web-based. And that's what I'm focused on. Oh, let me just show one real quick. The agents. This is the ACT system. So this ACT system, when you want to talk to your agent, is ACT, which is Agent Communication Terminal. So when you talk to it, hey, how you doing? Is my microphone working? Hello? I don't know. My mic's not even going on this. I don't have it plugged in. But anyways, it's a real-time API, so it's super fast, like you're just talking. But you have different abilities in here where you can turn on your camera and really kind of get in to meet it. And you can draw on your stuff. You can ask the agent, hey, what is this? And it can see the camera. So there's all kinds of stuff that we programmed in here that really gives people a lot of abilities. So if you want to ask it a question, maybe that's a preset question, it would go ahead and answer that. And it can also go. So what I built here is really giving people abilities to add that into their websites and different scenarios that you might want. Now these are all hot links down here to go to your website and all kinds of things. So that's a whole nother conversation on that. But in the agent, this is your easy web form wants stuff again. So if you don't want the space and you want a more of a deal where you want the agent face in here, I mean, the bottom line is how you want to represent your teacher, your coach, or your business executive, and you can do whatever you want. So you got their info. So it's really easy, basic stuff. And when you get into the prompts are highly advanced prompts. I mean, nobody's going to really write these kind of prompts. These are extremely advanced prompts where you can really pack in PhD knowledge to the hilt. And you got MindGate. I mean, you can really build out your agent where it's something that you're just going to kind of type out. So it's really going to grind it out. You got plugins you can choose. I mean, it just goes on and on. Databases, variables. So the bottom line is, my 8-year-old or my 13-year-old can go in here and start doing guardrails for the agent. I don't want to ever talk about this particular product, and then you can do that. You just kind of program that in. So that's kind of being able to control your own world and your own agent after you designed it and built it. I think that's kind of it right now, but it's really cool in the phone agents too, what the abilities are. I mean, there's a call center in there as well, so you can call my friends and tell them it's a party, It's an easy, basic web form to go in and go, I'm going to do a call agent because it's my birthday. I want everybody to come. It's going to be an outbound. I'm going to create it, and I don't need anybody's help, but they just do the bio, phone numbers, the voice, and everything, and check it to a database, go. All of a sudden, you have an agent blowing it up, calling 20 people at one time, getting everybody your birthday party. So this is all zero code abilities to do agentic agent tree stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I know the Q&A is a little tricky because of the thing, but if anybody has any questions, maybe if you want to hold the mic and repeat the question, or we can do questions outside in the lobby, maybe that's better. Any burning questions right now? Yeah?
Can we live this right now? You able to hear that?
Yeah, I totally heard that, and I say it to myself every day. Yeah, we're probably a month away, I would say, that I can open it up. It'll be a beta deal, so I have like on the bottom of the footer, it says, you find something, anything you need, let us know, and so pretty soon.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Pearson, do you want to get connected?
So I don't know. I mean, it'll be probably I'll send it over now. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Awesome. Turn it a little bit so you can see it, or are you good?
I'll just look at this. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everybody. So this is actually my second time demoing this. I met Craig in October, and the product has changed a lot since then. So it's pretty awesome to be here. So I'm Pearson Marks, and I'm the founder of JellyPod. And JellyPod is an AI podcast studio. And so when I first got into computing, I loved Blender. I loved creating 3D models, anything creative. I thought myself as an artist in a lot of ways. But I always thought a lot of the interfaces and the technology to get across the hump was pretty difficult. A lot of buttons, UI, things like that. I'm also an avid podcast listener, and about a year and a half ago, I was walking to work. I worked for Amazon. I was on the Alexa team for a while there, and I get 50 different email newsletters a day, and I'd never read them. And I was like, what if there was a way to take all this information that I cared about and convert it into a daily podcast, 10 minutes, right? And so I decided to leave my job and started working on that solo for about a year. And a few months ago, we realized that rather than having personalized media, which now I think is maybe one of those tar pit ideas, I think that people think that they want personalized content. We developed an AI podcast studio, and I'll give a little demo now about what we built. We allow you to create your hosts, design their backstories, integrate virtual hosts to have conversations, bring your own source material, whether that's PDFs, websites.
Sorry, I think you're slightly loose here or whatever. It just the color went out for some reason. So sorry to interrupt your flow. Oh, there you go. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Let me know if it goes out again. I can't really see it. But yeah, so it's just a podcast studio. Design your hosts, their backstories, their voices, give them source material, PDFs, websites, YouTube videos, anything. Going out again? And maybe I'll hold it. Let's see. But we'll do a quick demo. So here's a host. So you can see hosts. We'll create a new host, and see, this is my dev build. And rather than we could choose a name, a gender, and a backstory, but instead we're just gonna write something in. So let's say an astronaut. An astronaut. This is click generated. So we'll generate a name, a backstory of an astronaut here. It might take a second. Just streamed in. And then we'll do a voice design. So, we'll just choose a voice. Let's say middle-aged man. And now we go to podcasts. So essentially, see it click right now.
Sorry. Do you have a USB-C?
I do.
Maybe just for fun, we try that in case it's better Mac friendly. I don't know.
There we go. Awesome. Sweet. Great. So you can see a bunch of the podcast series. So we have podcast series here. Create a podcast. We're going to create one about the asteroid that might hit 3.5%. I don't know what's going on. But these are what these demos are about. They're hot, they're off the press, you know, there's tech issues.
Use the HDMI director.
We just were doing this, Yes. You can clone your voice. Yes, you can clone your voice. You can choose from a list of a bunch of voices, and you can also design a voice. So voice design is this instance where I just typed in astronaut, gave a name, a backstory. Well, you click voice design, and based on that high-level description that you gave, we'll design a voice that sounds like an astronaut. You could use this in a lot of like fictional podcasts where it could be like an ogre or a wizard or something like that. So I see it keep flickering off and on, so. But we'll just take a title. Let's do NASA podcast, a story about space and exploration, exploring the stars and galaxies. And so every podcast gets its own website. We're going to add that Liam Gallagher or Caleb Walker, which is the host, and Liam Gallagher is another host I have. And we're creating the podcast. So right now it's generating a podcast cover image for you. And the podcast is all about conversation, so it's going to have a conversation between these two hosts. And the high-level thing is that you bring your information, and then we'll design an outline. So here's the image right there, Exploring the Stars and Galaxy, NASA podcast, new episode. I could add a link to like a story about space, the asteroid that might hit in 2032, 3.5% or something. We'll just say talk about space. Very high level prompts. So you can add it to the source, or you can put website links here, files, PDFs, anything, and you click create. And right now what it's doing is creating an outline, which you can then edit. It'll give a 3-chapter outline and allows you to kind of direct the story. So if you want to talk about going to Jupiter or the moon or something, give a high-level outline, and then it'll create the script. Then you can generate the voices, and then we'll host it for you to Spotify, to YouTube, have your own custom podcast website, and everything from end to end. So you just come to JellyPod with this high-level idea of like something you want to talk about, a series, and then we'll handle the rest, honestly. So we'll just generate the script right here, but this will take a little bit of time, and I think I'm probably up now. So, yeah. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Yeah, question? Yes. So today, you have to be able to break it up yourself. So it's a PDF or a PowerPoint. You just have to chunk it yourself. But in the future, absolutely, you can upload that and create a whole series. Right. Yeah. Can I go on
There is a free tier, so you get like 2 episodes essentially on the free, but then there's paid plans. And it's just purely everything up to generating the audio is free. So like, once you generate the audio, that's when it costs us a bunch. But you can iterate over the script to make sure everything sounds correct.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What's that? Oh, question. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, excellent. All right, next we have Joseph, who is doing a presentation on fine-tuning the Flux AI image model with your likeness. So, Joseph, do you want me to hold the mic, or are you okay? Like
That should be good.
Okay.
And maybe like 5, 6, 7 minutes, and then time for questions. Yeah. Thanks.
Hey everybody, my name is Joseph, and I'm the founder of a startup called PhotoGen. And what we're trying to do is trying to make it easier for folks to actually create AI images with their likeness in the image. So, for example, our URL is at photogen.dev, and what I've done is I've trained an AI image model called Flux 1.1 Pro with images that I took, so like selfies and different images that I took when I was on vacation. And now, when I prompt the model for example, a man playing the guitar, as you can see, my likeness is coming up in the actual image generation here. So what we're hoping to do is to create an actual marketplace where folks could buy and sell different AI models that have been trained on likenesses that they own. So you can imagine a marketing company or a fashion company uploading images of models that they've hired and then creating entire marketing campaigns just in the cloud. So the way that I've done that is I'm using a framework called Next.js, which is a JavaScript framework, and basically this uses a server, and so when our user sends us a payload, let's say it's 10 images that we want to use to train that particular model, then what we're going to do is, first thing first is we're going to use our provider here is called Replicate. They're an online provider. They provide tons of different image models and also video models. And so on our server, we can create a Replicate client. And that client basically lets us create a model and then we can actually train that model with the training data that the user has given us. So rather than just prompting the model for images and it's going to give you just a random AI generated person, by providing it with training data, then it's going to stick to that training data when it's actually providing the image. The other thing that's really important, of course, is security. So Pearson was talking about how the part where you actually have to pay is when we're actually generating the image. So part of what we've done here on the server side is add some security checks to make sure that, firstly, only authorized users of our service can actually generate models, because we don't want third parties, anybody just being able to hit our API and generate tons of images on our dime. So the first thing that we do is just make sure that somebody's actually registered on our site. And this is, I think, the more interesting part is on every single request that we get into our API service that could actually cause us to spend money, the first thing that we do is we actually check to see if that user in our database is allowed to make that number of generations, right? We have different tiers. So we've got a basic plan, we've got a free plan, and then a pro plan. And based off of which plan you're on, you have different levels of access, right? So, for example, on the basic plan, you can only make 2 AI models and generate 100 images. But on the pro plan, you're allowed to make unlimited models and make unlimited images, right? So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that we're checking our database before we make any requests to our third-party provider, because our third-party provider doesn't care whether or not they were legitimate requests, right? They just care that it came from my account, and so we want to make sure that our users are actually paying for the services that they're getting. And then the other important thing is, as soon as we actually do make a model, we have to update our database with that particular flag, right? Because it could be that in between the user actually submitting a request and that request actually being given back to us by our provider, they could have sent in another 10 requests in parallel, right? So we don't want to, once again, be on the hook for those particular training costs. It was actually really interesting to hear that you guys have some H100s running in the background. Those are actually the servers that I use in the cloud to train my AI image model. So pretty cool to have that out here. So yeah, let me just give one last one. Let's say a man playing the violin. And you can generate images in batches of 1, 5, or 10, depending on your particular use case. And if we wait a couple of seconds here, we should see some images. It's not always 100%, but it's way more reliable than if you were just trying to prompt it without having trained the model in the first place. So yeah, that is Photoshop. Come on. This is always the most nerve-wracking part. There we go. So yeah, those are all AI-generated images. I like this one because I have more hair. In this one, I like the fact that the AI gives me hair. But yeah, you can imagine if you had a team of folks, rather than like renting out a photographer in a studio and all the makeup that would be involved, it might be a little bit easier to get these images out of the box. So yeah, that's PhotoGen. Any questions? All right, awesome. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm going to switch the port on the TV really quick. Do you have a Mac or a PC? All right, let me try something with
Hello. How's everyone doing? This is the 4th presentation we've got here in this loud, noisy data center where the screen flickers in and out. And we've got all these interested AI tinkers. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
It's saying choose to mirror or extend from the menu.
Okay. Tell me when, please, when it's done.
There we go.
Okay, so hi everybody. 5 minutes, okay, 6:33. So I'm Basil Latif. I am a data scientist. So, all this AI stuff runs on data and algorithms, and I am interested in those, in making those, building those algorithms. So I'm just going to show you a quick demo of two use cases. So first I'm going to show you guys this image of this cute dog, right? What kind of dog is this? Golden Retriever. Okay, so the human is able to, we are all humans, we're able to identify that. Okay, now we're going to watch the short video. Tell me what is going on in this video. What is this activity called? Archery. Okay, so now let's run the AI model and see if it can learn this information. It's called deep learning. So I'm gonna load these pre-trained models. I'm gonna load this. This is from the PyTorch library. Okay, these are the pre-trained models. I have 219 pre-trained models. I'm gonna load this AlexNet model. This is actually an old model. This technology was developed like in the late 2010s, so like 2019. This model was released, right? So actually, let me go here. So, okay, I run all this code, right? And what does it tell me? That yes, it is 96.5% sure that we have a golden retriever, right? So that's how these models work. They probabilistically give you an output based on what they think, based on what the model has learned, right? So, okay, now let's run this video classification model. So we hit play. We load the model. We print the class names. We do some pre-processing. We load the archery video. And we predict that this is archery, right? So this is kind of the back-end magic behind how all this AI code works, right? It's a lot of Python and a lot of data manipulation to get an accurate output. So that's my presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the last presentation.
All right, and then last but not least, we have Greg, who you can't miss in the Superman show.
All right, so how many people have ever created a vision board like this? Usually you do it on paper. It involves a lot of cutting and pasting and quite a bit of time. And basically what I wanted to do was try and make this faster. So I took more of a concept like this. Instead of overlaying everything on top of itself, divide it into quadrants, and then be able to generate images using AI so you're not cutting up paper all the time. So before I got into any of the code, my first thought was, I could just do this in one shot. Just tell the image, here's what I want. I want making friends, I want going running, I want all these things. And it did really bad. This is the best one I ever made doing that out of hundreds. So I started doing it, okay, we'll do separate ones. One in each column, one in each row. Each of them is a separate intention of what you want to do. What I also was doing, as you can see by the very different art styles, was letting it randomly choose the art style because I thought that would be more engaging. And everyone said it looks like barf. So quickly changed it to be specific art styles where you choose the art style, whatever that is for you. So cyberpunk, cottagecore, because there were a couple of people that wanted that. And that's the other one. So this is the actual interface. Basically picking out, I don't know, give me one of these. What do you want to build? Pick one. Oh, which one did you say? Sorry. All right. What's an intention? What's somebody working on this year that you want to do? Great. So this actually nicely demonstrates one of the problems that I ran into, which is people would say something that makes sense as an intention, like make money. And the AI, assuming it's still connected, would often not do the best version of that. It should be faster. There we go. And so one of the problems that you run into is, how do I get this to give me what I want, which is an illustration of making money? Well, what does that look like? So my first initial ones were literally put that in as a prompt and put in some style, and that was it. Very quickly what that became is asking the AI to tell me what are the things that you would see if this is the intention that I want to create. But this is actually one of the things I'm releasing soon because you get much better output this way, but it's a lot finicky. So just going to say this is the one that I want. As you're doing this, I wanted you to be able to say, okay, I don't like that, give me another one. I don't like that, give me another one. And keep going until you had one you were happy with. And then be able to move on. So I'm just going to jump to, this was one that is a complete cyberpunk one. And this is one of the other examples that I wanted to show. So create amazing art is a great intention. That is not creating amazing art. I don't even entirely know what the hell that was. So one of the things that I'm running into is, again, needing to help people. Here's how you rewrite this. Here's how you say what you want that is not just the intention. One last thing that I wanted to talk about, I am also using Replicate, and specifically I'm using the Black Forest Labs Flux Schnell model. Partly because it's a lot faster. The first version I did, I used a different model, and it took 30 seconds per image. It was excruciating. And so one of the things that I did, because I tried to optimize too early, is I said, oh, well, what if I generate 4 images at once, and then cut those up and show them to you one at a time? You've still got a 30-second startup window that takes forever and feels awful. So after spending about 3 days trying to implement this idea, I finally went to Replicate and went, is there a faster image model? And found ones that are all the way down to 1 second, but they're also 10 cents an image. So I'm doing a 7-ish second one that's about, I think it's 1/100th of a cent per image, which is a lot more reasonable. One last thing I wanted to show. This takes a lot of iteration. So this was one that I was doing not for me, but trying to men finding friends. And this friend did not have a mustache, but all of his friends did. Again, don't ask me why this is what he wanted. But it took so many tries of, no, I really want one guy without and some guys with, and it just wouldn't listen. And so it is one of the things that's fun about this interface, is just like trying and trying and trying and trying. It also gets kind of annoying after a while. The last thing I'll leave you with is I screwed up the UI at one point. And so all of my statements about here's the intention, here's the style, were literally getting sent as undefined. Because, you know, it's JavaScript. This is an undefined depiction of undefined. This is also an undefined depiction of undefined. This is also undefined. And this one, which is by far my favorite. I don't exactly know what this sort of search for the Holy Grail is going on here, but it was amazing. So that's my undefined result.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure we can't wait to get back into the lobby to be able to have some conversations and questions and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate everybody doing really well with the demos. It was super exciting. Thank you guys for doing that. I really appreciate it. Anyone else? Well, normally I would do like a walk-on demo, but I think we'll skip that. We're looking to do another meeting in probably the next 60 days. We've been talking about like the end of April for another meeting. So anyway, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this part of the meeting up and then head back into the lobby, and you guys stay around, do Q&A and food and all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much.